Photoshop gives you the ability to take an image and create a stained glass window, or to draw a cartoon burlap sack and then have a burlap texture applied to it. Then from there you can add shadows and all kinds of other things to make it look more realistic. Now the textures live in the filter menu, but before we get started, I'm going to just show you an example of drawing a quick little cartoon here of a burlap sack. And it's not very burlappy, but it will look better once I'm done. And I'm going to go to Edit, Fill, Foreground Color. Now I'm going to go to Filter, Texture, and I'll choose Texturizer down here in the bottom. The Texturizer dialog box opens, and I can click and drag my mouse in this preview area. I can also decrease or increase the viewing size in this window. And I also have controls to adjust how the texture is applied. For example, in this one called burlap, I can adjust the scaling of that texture and the relief, which shows how much it looks like it's 3D instead of flat. So I can increase my scaling and increase my relief or decrease it. I can even invert that texture. I can also choose the light source, where it's coming from, until I'm happy with the texture. So I think top looks good. If I want to, I can also choose something like brick, or canvas, or even sandstone. Once again, they all have their sliders to change how they look. I also have some other ones in here as well. As I mentioned, stained glass. This works best, of course, if you have more than one color, but I only have one color here, so we're not going to really get an effect. We also have some other ones that we can choose from by clicking on them, like so. So I'm going to go back to my texturizer, burlap, and then I'm going to click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my dodge and burn tools, and I'm going to actually burn in a shadow on this guy. So I'm going to increase the size of the brush, quite large actually, and I'm going to paint in a shadow for the sack to give it more of a 3D feel, more depth. And that's an example of how you can use the texture tools inside of Photoshop to take something that's flat, give it a little bit of depth, and in conjunction with the other tools such as dodge and burn, paint shadows on it to really create a really cool piece of artwork.